Hi. Today I'm going to make this is my 29th recipe on Bordo's kitchen, and today I'm going to make a very unique dish. Unique insofar as that generally you don't get to eat this dish or find this dish in a restaurant of any kind, right? It's what I call a farmer's dish or a morning after dish. I'm going to explain what that is. But before that, let me tell you what I'm making. It's called Kala Chana, black. Chana would be peas. It's also called Bengal gram. Bengal as in West Bengal, Bengal gram. I think the British named it because it is found predominantly on that part of India during the colonization. Or it's also called horse gram. Horse gram because it's extremely high in protein, and it's generally fed to the horses. That's how it got the name horse gram. So it's called Kala Chana, or typically the scientific name is Bengal gram, or horse gram as commonly called. Let me show you what that is. This is horse gram, right? So you can see it here. This is chickpeas, not to be confused. So chickpeas is what you get in the Western dishes or salads, or even the Greek or Middle Eastern people use a lot of this chickpeas. This is horse gram, or because of the color, because it's darker than that, it's called Kala Chana in color in Hindi. Black kala is black, right? Now I'm going to make this. Now this you soak overnight, and that's what it becomes, right? You have to soak it overnight, right? So it's going to swells up into. So those becomes like this, right? And it's extremely high in protein. Now, why I call it a farmer's dish, or why you don't get to see it, why I call it a farmer's dish or a morning after dish before people jumps to conclusion about morning after. High protein, and when I come from the east, and people from the east now will when I say east, it's Bengal, Assam. Whenever we have a religious ceremony, we serve this as offering, right? And this along with green beans, with salt and all. That's the typical offering, or in any puja, as you call it, the religious ceremony in Hindi, puja, or commonly in India. So whenever there's a leftover of this cooked from the offering, the morning after, and that is why it's morning after. Basically, you make it into this what I'm cooking now, the lentil, right? My mom used to do it, and then because you can have it by in itself, a bowl like a soup, or you can have it with rice, right? And it's high protein, and it's a wonderful dish. So that's the story, right? So let me show you how to make this. Now it's a two-step process, a three-step process. The first is to soak this overnight, right? The second step is I'm going to use a pressure cooker to pressure cook this for about 5 whistles. If you do not have a pressure cooker, you can use a thick bottom pan and kind of boil it slow for about 45 minutes and check now and then, right? So all of the peas, the horse gram goes in. I've got about 2.5 finely chopped garlic, so I'm going to use half of it really. The garlic will do two things. It'll help melt, as I keep saying, and also add to the flavor. Then I've got a thumb size of ginger and 2 slit green chilies. I'm going to put them on. So that goes in. Right, so that's it. Then I'm going to add salt, but remember the final salt test will come later. That goes in salt. Hi, so I am going to now add a little bit of turmeric, if Julie can come closer. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of turmeric. And I have taken 2 cups of the chana, or the horse gram. So I'm going to add 4.5 to 5 cups of water, same size of water, yeah? 4.5, right? 4.5 water goes in there. Give it a stir, and I'm going to pressure cook it on a high flame. It'll be 5 whistles on high for about one whistle on high, and the remaining 4 in low to medium. So that goes in, and once that step is done, we come back and do the last step, which is a tempering step. Yeah. I now going to do the process 3, the third step. So I've soaked overnight. I've boiled it in a pressure cooker 5 times one whistle on high flame and the remaining 4 in medium to low. Now one thing, my oil is heating here is 2 teaspoons of mustard oil. While that's doing, let me show you the let it cool down, and there it is. Now one other thing you have to be very clear about is that this, unlike chickpeas or kidney beans, the texture still remains a little crunchy. Doesn't matter how much you boil, how much you parboil or slow boil it, right? So be careful there, because you will not get a texture like a chickpea, which is very soft, or a kidney bean or a rajma, which can become very soft. This will retain a slightly crunchy texture irrespective of how much you boil. That's because of the protein content, right? So that's just to let you know. Now let me take you through the tempering process. While my oil is getting heated there, I've got half a tomato, thinly sliced. I've got coriander powder, chopped. I've got coriander powder, garam masala, and then I've got finely grated onion. For this kind of dish, you need the onion not chopped or sliced, but finely grated, or better if you can have it, if you have a grinder, the typical Indian grinder, to really grind it into kind of a mash, right? So the oil is heated, so let me just start the tempering process. I'm going to put all of the It's a very simple, very easy dish to make. You can keep it in the fridge, have it between meals or as a whole meal by itself. As a soup, it can be served as a soup. Alright, the onion is done. Remember, I've already put turmeric in while pressure cooking it. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of coriander powder, a tea and a half of coriander powder. And the garam masala goes in later because that gives the color. So I'm just going to saute it a little bit. Remember, I already added salt while boiling, so we just add a little bit of salt so that it kind of helps in glazing it. Okay, this is done. At this stage, the tomato goes in. All right, now the tomato and onion is well sauteed. At this stage, I'm going to add the boiled into this. All in. Stir it. Little bit of hot water, not much. And I'm going to first keep it open and let the the water come to a boil. And this is one final step which I'm going to do. So this is something I have picked up from a friend's mother. I was in Delhi on work about 10 years back, and obviously my friend invited me over to his house for dinner, and his mother made this chickpeas, not this one, but it was really dark. It was like blackish color, and it has a wonderful aroma. And I asked her, I said, like, how did you get this? And then she told me the secret, which I'm going to now replicate, right? So I've got a muslin cooking cloth. So these you can buy in the shop. It's a muslin, so it doesn't. So I'm going to put. This is Assam tea, CTC, which is not the leaf tea. This is the ground tea from my home state, Assam. So I'm going to put here. The other is the Darjeeling leaf tea. Leaf tea will not give you that. So I put about 3 heap of this into the muslin cloth, and I put. These are red peppercorns. I'm going to put a little bit of that into this, and actually I'll put more of the tea, 1 more teaspoon of the tea. So it all goes in there, right? And then I kind of you can buy these cooking cloths, right? You can buy them. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to tie this up very well because I don't want it to leak inside, right? So tie it up well, spread it out, and you just slowly put it there. Right? And these are special cooking cloths that you get, muslin cooking cloth. So that's it. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of the garam masala. This is the North Indian 5 spices, as I call it. I'm going to put a teaspoon. What this does, it gives a flavor, plus it adds to the darkening of the food, right? The tea leaves also will add that, but what the tea leaves also does, it gives an aroma. All right? So that's done. All I'm going to do is add a little bit more water just to soak that cloth, and put my timer up for 30 minutes or 20 minutes. Actually it's enough, 25. Let me put it at 25, and I'm going to slow cook this on a slow flame for 25 minutes. And kala chana, as you call. All right, now this has been cooking for 20 minutes, so I'm going to take it out. And the purpose of doing this is I'm going to slowly remove this piece of cloth, which has given the tea color and the flavor. So you can see it's really gone darkish, reddish color. I remove this, stir it a bit. So there you can see the beautiful color and flavor. Of course, you can't have the flavor right now. The texture remains the same. And at this stage, call it, it's done. Easy to cook, healthy meal. Make it in bulk, keep it in the fridge. Whenever you want to have an in-between meal, have that. It can be had as a wholesome meal because it's high in protein, it's got the fibers, you know, and enjoy it. And this is my 29th dish, and we'll come back with the 30th. Cheers.